So let's start off with Prashanti, to be presented here by beautiful Nalini Bhatt. Stay tuned.
Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food.
We at Prashanti offer our humblest pranams at the most sacred lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Welcome brothers and sisters, this is Nalini. We are talking about Sri Baba in 1943 when Puttaparthi was a stone's throw away from Stone Age. It was virtually inaccessible. Yet, the early devotees undertook the journey with their families, which sometimes included very young children. Invariably, they had to carry huge loads of groceries and other daily essentials, for nothing was available in Puttaparthi. Mrs. Geeta Mohan, who was practically raised by Sri Baba, says,
"When I was a child, we used to say Puttaparthi Swami must have carved out of the rocks. It was a Stone Age village. Nothing was there. But the beauty of this wonderful creation, our beloved Lord Swami was there."
Devotees travelled from distant places to Puttaparthi, but alas, the local people were ignorant of the treasure in their own backyard. They were not just ignorant, but were extremely hostile to the young 17-year-old Baba. They threw stones at cars arriving from other places. Nobody gave even a little milk if the children were hungry, devotees' children, if they were hungry. Just like the lotus flower, which always blooms in muddy waters, Baba, the lotus divine, also had bloomed in this adverse atmosphere. Baba used to say, frogs are sitting on the lotus, croaking, oblivious of the nectar in them, while bees come from other places to partake it. Stalwarts like Sheshagiri Rao, Narayan Sharma, Kuppam Radhakrishna, and others were fortunate to be drawn to him in the early 1940s. Mrs. Sucharita, the granddaughter of Narayan Sharma, who is the third generation of Sai devotees, paints beautifully her first visit to Puttaparthi in 1943. Let's watch.
The narration of my experience. This is not yesterday, not last year. It is 7 decades. Those uncles and aunts, most of them are merged in him. A couple of them are still here. Even today, they wait for me to go and talk to them about the good old days. They made it a point to take all their kith and kin with them. When did they start this journey? It was 1943 December. They did not go to Puttaparthi. They had not heard of Sai Baba. They went to Anantapur. My grandfather, Narayan Sharma, his wife, Srimati Savitrama, and their only daughter, Shanta. With them I went. They went to visit a cousin of my grandfather. When we landed there, we get the information. Here, a 17-year-old boy has started announcing himself to be Sai Baba. He says he has come to redeem the world. Oh God. Where? Puttaparthi. Our people had no interest. But that's what my grandfather said. We didn't go. He drew us to him. How? Neighbors who were exposed to Sai Baba dinned into my grandma's ears. So we went to Puttaparthi. Where do you land? In the great Karanam Subbamma's house. Karanam Subbamma happened to me some relatives of my grandmother. Swami, he had left his home and he had decided to stay in Subbamma's house. And I was too small a girl. Subbamma's house was down to earth. No furniture, no dining tables, nothing. So for meals, we had to sit on the ground. And being the youngest, I had the privilege to sit next to him. He said, a leaf is spread for us also. So grandmothers come and serve all whatever items they have made. Come on, start. They tell, Swami says, you have forgotten one item. We have cooked, we have served. This fellow who has not even come to the kitchen tells us that we have forgotten. These old women go into the kitchen, they discover coconut chutney prepared and kept on the grinding stone. I said, my God, this Swami knows where a chutney can be kept. That was my first introduction to Swami. A couple of days later, my grandfather introduces, she is my granddaughter, Swami. I know, there are two more sisters of hers, and your daughter Nila is in the family way. She is going to get a baby boy, and the delivery is going to be difficult. I am going to stand by her. You tell them to name him after me. My God, I was gasping. That introduction to him, who knows everything, was the deepest impression one can have. We stayed for some more time. We came away to Bangalore. Swami comes to Bangalore, 1944. That was his first visit. He comes directly to my grandfather's house. By third-class compartment from the railway station to residence by a Jahaz-drawn Gadi. He lent himself. That's the beauty. He stayed in our house. I got my brother in 1944 March, and we named him Sai Prasad. These grandparents informed all our kith and kin. Wherever Swami was, these people would rush. Like that our journey to Parthi started.
More next time. Thank you for watching Prashanti. Jai Sai Ram.
Let's kick off this hour with Prashanti, which is very lovingly presented here by Madam Nalini Bhatt. Stay tuned.
Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, bliss is my food.
We at Prashanti offer our humblest pranams at the most sacred lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Welcome, brothers and sisters. This is Nalini. We have been talking about Sri Baba's early devotees on Prashanti. Today, we are bringing you the fascinating story of how one of the greatest devotees, Sri Sheshagiri Rao, came to Baba in 1943. Sheshagiri Rao was a pious Brahmin living in Bangalore. His daughters heard about the miracles of young Baba and they persuaded him to go to Puttaparthi with them. Sheshagiri Rao was most reluctant to go to see a 16-year-old non-Brahmin school dropout. However, grudgingly, he accompanied his daughters, all the time thinking in his own mind that he would not even glance at the boy. Being an ardent worshipper of Lord Shiva, Sheshagiri Rao considered it blasphemy to see some boy who claimed to be divine. But in Puttaparthi, one glance at the 16-year-old school dropout and Sheshagiri Rao fell down unconscious and remained in that state for 2 whole days. When Sheshagiri Rao was in that state, Sri Baba himself tended to him most lovingly.
Swami in fact asks for Sheshagiri Rao to be taken to a room next to his own room, and he is placed there. And Swami says, you don't worry about this, continue with the bhajan. And every 2-3 hours Swami comes, puts vibhuti, gives water, everything. And the Sheshagiri Rao is gone like this. So after 2 days, Sheshagiri Rao actually wakes up. He is just having tears of joy. He says, all my life, I have worshipped Shiva. And when I saw there, I saw my Lord. With the moon, with the Ganga, with the snake, the Jata Juta, with the Damru, the Trishul, I had the darshan of Lord Shiva. I was unable to bear it. All my life I have been seeking Shiva. And today, having got him, you want me to leave and come to Bangalore. You go to Bangalore, I am not coming. Ever since that day, Sheshagiri Rao did not leave Puttaparthi at all. He settled in Puttaparthi. He resigned from his job, whatever he was doing. He in fact became the first priest for Swami. Till then, Swami used to himself take the Aarti. He said, Swami, you are Lord Shiva. Shiva should not do Aarti. We should do Aarti to Shiva. I will do Aarti. He became the first priest.
The man who would not step into Puttaparthi was saying he was not stepping out forever. Baba himself has said, Sheshagiri Rao came from Bangalore and never went back. Even when I used to go to Bangalore, he never came, said Baba. If we think this is dramatic, the way Sheshagiri Rao's journey of life ended is more so, all carefully orchestrated by Sri Baba himself. After becoming a staunch devotee of Baba, Sheshagiri Rao served as the priest of the shrine at the old mandir and later at the Prashanti Nilayam Sanctum Sanctorum with great dedication for 14 years. One day, Sheshagiri Rao, who was now advanced in age, fell down and sustained bad injuries. Everyone thought that he was on his deathbed. Sheshagiri Rao also thought that his end was near and kept saying, I am being liberated, I am being liberated. Suddenly Baba appeared in the room and reprimanded Sheshagiri Rao. How dare you start on this journey without a ticket from me? I order you to come to the prayer hall this afternoon and carry on with Aarti as usual. Amazingly, Sheshagiri Rao, who was too weak to even move, got up and humbly obeyed the order. Soon he recovered and resumed his work at Prashanti Nilayam. 6 months later, he fell seriously ill and was admitted to the Satya Sai hospital. The all-knowing director of human drama, Baba said to Sheshagiri Rao's worried brother, I am allowing him to work out the suffering he has to undergo. After this, he will die peacefully and happily. Otherwise, I could have dispatched him months ago when he had a fall. And that's exactly what happened. A month passed, Sheshagiri Rao recovered mysteriously. He spent 6 weeks of bliss doing his chores. Then slowly he started to decline and became bedridden. One evening, Baba went into Sheshagiri Rao's room. The mother that Baba is, he fed his beloved devotee milk by his own divine hand, spoon by spoon, telling the feeble man that it was his Baba that was feeding him. Then he went to the door and turning back, looked at his beloved devotee lovingly. Then Baba gave his permission, saying, Now you can go. And Sheshagiri Rao obeyed his master's command and within an hour merged in Baba. This, dear brothers and sisters, is the awe-inspiring story of Baba's love for his devotees. Thank you for watching Prashanti. Jai Sai Ram.
Let's hit the road off with Prashanti, to be written, directed and presented here by Mrs. Nalini Bhatt. Let's see.
Love is my form, truth is my breath, this is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, this is my food. Love is my form, truth is my breath, this is my food.
We at Prashanti offer our humblest pranams at the most sacred lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Welcome brothers and sisters, this is Nalini. In the earlier Prashanti, we talked about Baba's first visit to Bangalore. After Bangalore, Sri Baba visited the royal city of Mysore at the time of Navaratri of 1944 to witness the famous Dasara festivities. When Mysore was under the reign of Maharajas, Dasara was celebrated in a very grand fashion. It was around this time, when Baba's travels outside of Puttaparthi became more frequent, that his mother Ishwaramma expressed concern that he may leave Puttaparthi and settle somewhere else. Baba immediately gave his word to mother that he will never leave Puttaparthi. Let's watch.
Since then, Bhagavan started visiting Bangalore. And Venkama and Ishwarama said, Swami, you may do anything, you may go anywhere, but never leave this Puttaparthi. And Bhagavan promised her, I will never leave Puttaparthi. I will stay here permanently. And many people of royal families started visiting this place.
Not only Baba was love and compassion personified, he instilled these virtues in the hearts of those around him too. This fact was beautifully illustrated when Sri Baba was invited to attend the marriage of Sumitramma, the daughter of a devotee called Gopal Rao. Because of being in Sri Baba's company, a host of other people became compassionate, loving, sharing and giving.
As a spontaneous gesture of love and goodwill, all the ladies shed their jewelry and offered it to the bride. In one moment, the poor lady began to look like some goddess in a temple. It is not just that the Lord is compassionate. The Lord arouses compassion in everyone. And without Swami speaking a word, this happened. Everybody who attended the wedding was like a Swami for her, because it was that same selflessness that flowed through. Swami was seated right in the front in the wedding ceremony. Her own grandmother, Tulsamma, used to suffer from severe headaches. That wedding, the minute she entered the hall, she rushes to the front, sees Swami, goes straight and falls at his feet. Clutching the feet of Swami, she begins to weep inconsolably. An 80-year-old lady falling at the feet of an 18-year-old boy, and Swami with all love is gently patting her head and telling, Tulsamma, Tulsamma. From that day, Tulsamma never suffers from those headaches ever again in her life.
Another interesting miracle happened in Mysore at the time of Deepavali, the festival of lights, when Sri Baba stayed with a devotee. While his physical form was in Mysore, Baba came down and granted his darshan to the devotees in Puttaparthi in the form of a serpent. It came about thus. A day after Diwali, Baba, who was sitting with his devotees in Mysore, suddenly went into a trance. The devotees just waited for him to return from his out-of-body sojourn. Meanwhile, in Puttaparthi, during Diwali, in Baba's absence, a photograph of him was kept with lamps burning in front of it in the old temple. After Diwali night, in the early dawn, a number of devotees saw the lights of a car coming up the hill. They ran to see if Baba came back, but alas, to their disappointment, there was no sign of a car, even though they had just seen clearly the car with headlights. When they returned to the temple, they saw a cobra coiled around the portrait of Sri Baba. It was seen by hundreds of villagers until 3 o'clock that afternoon. They offered worship to it, broke coconuts to propitiate it. The coconut halves were distributed, and one lady of the village who received 2 small halves of the coconut started complaining loudly that the coconut she had given to be broken in front of the cobra was much larger. Seemingly understanding what was happening, the serpent turned sharply in the lady's direction and hissed loudly. The lady jumped in fear and everyone had a hearty laugh. At 3 o'clock that afternoon, the cobra slid down and even as people watched became invisible. And exactly at 3 o'clock, Sri Baba in distant Mysore, who was in trance all this while, returned to his body. It was as though Baba was already fulfilling his promise to Mother Ishwaramma that he would not leave Puttaparthi. The fortunate devotees witnessed these miracles day in and day out. In this incident, just to please his devotees who were missing him in Puttaparthi, Baba travelled out of his body. As in many cases, he made it unique and humorous too. More next time. Thank you for watching. Jai Sai Ram.